Hello, everyone, and welcome to our monthly community outreach podcast. My name is Ana Isadame, Health Promotion Specialist and your host. As you can tell, we are not going live today due to some scheduling issues, but we still have some great information for you. Today, joining us is Ivy Bremer and Alicia Sanders from our Environmental Health Department, and they are going to talk about food safety today. So, Alicia, Ivy, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been with Siouxland District Health and whatever other information you would like to provide?
Sure. I'm Alicia Sanders. I'm an environmental specialist. My main territory in terms of food safety inspections is Plymouth and Cherokee counties.
My name is Ivy Bremer. I cover a territory in Woodbury County, and I have been doing food safety inspections for the last 6 years.
And today's topic, like I mentioned before, is food safety. So what is important to know or you think the community should know in regards to food safety?
Yeah, so normally when we go out and conduct food safety inspections, our main goal is to prevent foodborne illness. And so we're really kind of developing a relationship between all of these establishments to help them understand what are all of the reasons or causes behind a foodborne illness risk factor. And so when we go out and educate them, we're talking to them about things like personal hygiene, hand washing, glove use, cooking temperatures, cooling temperatures, all the things that can directly lead to a foodborne illness. So things that are very important. And you'll see if you've ever looked at in a food safety inspection, it's broken up into two different categories. There's a foodborne illness risk factor section, and then on the bottom, there's a good retail practices. And the reason that they're broken up is to kind of show what those risk factor violations are versus a good retail. Those good retail violations are things that are contributing factors. Several things would need to go wrong before it could potentially make someone sick. So something in regards to like a dirty floor. So yes, dirty floors aren't the most important thing that we're looking for, because they would have to sit on the floor, get dirty, and then go up to a table and cause some cross-contamination.
So you mentioned inspections. I know you inspect restaurants, and I think the public knows you inspect restaurants. What other places do you inspect?
So I guess it's April. We're gearing up for the summertime. So yeah, we're starting to see temporary licenses come in. So yeah, we do temporary events. That could be any county fair, any event that goes on in the communities. Farmers markets are gearing up. Mobile food units, we're getting applications for those as well. So that's what we do. I would like to add also that for the state of Iowa, we follow the food code, and we are on the 2017 FDA food code. So when we go out and do an inspection, whether it's a temporary license or a food service license, whatever it may be, we have very specific requirements that we do have to follow in terms of food safety, and that food code is what we follow.
So if someone is interested in starting a business or starting a temporary food stand or what have you, or event, how would they go about that?
So we would definitely want them to apply ahead of time. And there's a couple options for them. They can apply, they can go to our website, siouxlanddistricthealth.org. And there are several different applications up there. So that's food service applications, temporary licenses, mobile food unit licenses, farmers markets, home bakeries. So we definitely would encourage that they apply ahead of time. And then they can also go to the state website as well, and they can apply on the state website, dia.iowa.gov.
Yeah, and I would always recommend, if people are interested in starting a business, if they have questions or concerns, always reach out ahead of time, because we can walk through different building facilities to see, how much additional work is going to need to go into a certain property based on their menu and what other requirements that they would have. There's a lot of new and innovative mobile food units out there, or different types of menus, and we want to be able to make sure that they have all of the requirements in order to open and operate.
How early ahead of time would you recommend someone?
It does say in the code 30 days is what they're required to do, apply ahead of time. Just with the paperwork and scheduling the pre-open inspection, that does take a little bit of time, and we definitely encourage them to apply sooner rather than later. In addition to that, I would like to add that the state of Iowa does risk-based inspections. So we determine your risk when we discuss with you during those pre-open inspections or whatever it may be. And then we determine your risk. And basically what that means is what that establishment's risk is for a foodborne illness outbreak. So if their risk is higher for a foodborne illness outbreak, such as they're doing a lot of different things that could potentially introduce one of those foodborne illnesses, they would be at a higher risk level, which could potentially mean they get inspected twice a year. Where a lower risk level, such as maybe a retail or they have a lot of pre-cooked products, that could be either once a year or every other year, depending on their risk level.
And if someone feels they got sick from eating out at a restaurant or had a foodborne illness, how do they go about reporting that?
So if somebody feels that they did get sick from a restaurant, we definitely encourage that they utilize the state database or call the state hotline, which is 1-800-IOWA-SICK, and that's IOWASIC. And they will actually get interviewed by someone within the state, depending on where they're located at, to determine what happened, what may have been the cause of their illness, what specific food, if it's a salmonella related or an E. coli related. And then we get notified and then we follow up based off of that.
Anything else either one of you would like to add or think is important the public should know?
Well, we're getting into warmer summer months, so we're dealing, so we're going to see a lot of, barbecues, warm weather, picnics, different things like that. So definitely take precaution when you're doing those outdoor parties. Anything that's potentially hazardous food, TCS food, time temperature control for safety. We encourage that you keep it on hot hold, 135 degrees or above, cold hold, 41 degrees or below. Any foods that are within those temperature ranges of 41 or above or 135 or below, there definitely could be some bacteria that's introduced if it's held at those danger zones for too long. So really watch how long you keep food out of temperature. Is anything to add on that?
Always good hygiene. So when we're out at picnics, you're outdoors fishing or different things, make sure you find a place to wash your hands before preparing foods or even enjoying any of your foods.
Well, thank you, Alicia and Ivy, for joining us today. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, we will be live again through Facebook Live on June 7th at noon, where we will be talking about well water testing. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.